since it's less than a month away, what are your thoughts on Valentine's Day? Do you love it or hate it? I don't like Valentine's Day, and I don't hate it. I dislike it because hate is a strong word. I dislike it because I feel like it's so fake. I feel like it's the time for fake couples to show up and look, we're so lovey-dovey. It's the time for all the lustful people and their temporary romances to put it on display like anyone cares, because I don't. And then be like, look how much we care about each other for this week and maybe next week, and then we'll be broken up. Isn't this pretty? Isn't this beautiful? Oh my gosh, look at all this junk that we bought each other that we don't need just because we're looking for validation and attention from you. See, you're like our second mommy, daddy. See, you care. Do you care? You look at me. You give me attention. You see? Do you see? Are you loving me, please? Like, I'm not your mom and I'm not your dad. I don't care about your life. It's hard for me to care if you're in peril outside when I'm inside. But I'll push myself to care enough to call the police. But you see, that I had to push myself. It was an urge, but not like one that came naturally. I literally would have to push myself to care about you. It's easy for most people to not care, and so where everyone keeps asking for attention in this age and time, we get to this point where it's like, you know that naturally we don't care, so you know it's hard for us to care, and we're really trying, but you guys are just being a nuisance now. No one likes a buzzing mosquito near their face. That bzz. Do you like that? No, you don't like that. Okay, that's how these people who keep seeking validation and attention are. That's how I view them. They're like, is it cute? And I look cute? Do I look like this? When we're together like this? Are we romantic? Is it lovey-dovey enough for you? So, do how you like this? You know you didn't like this picture? Are we together? If you didn't see the picture, is me and my husband together? Is me and my boyfriend together? Are we together? Look at the chocolate. Look at the roses. Oh my gosh. I don't care. Someone asked, can cheating be a mistake or accident? No. Because most of the time, since we all know it's wrong, most of the time they mull it over in their head, and so that would be considered something that if it wasn't something they just like, then that, since they molded over in their head, even if it was just a little bit of time they molded over, they thought about it, they knew it would hurt the other person, and they didn't care because they wanted that lustful moment, that short-term burst of fun, and then they want to be absolved of any guilt. That's their problem. So no, I feel like they should tell the person that they cheated on, and really the relationship should be over, because it's learning that every action you have has consequences. There's no spoiling up in here, and that's just what I believe in. Someone said, are children really that great? Okay, I admit I'm still young enough to remember my childhood, so I'm probably a little biased, but are kids really that important? Why are they held in such high regard? Let me give an example. A local guy recently tried to get money for a local conservation project, and people started screaming the money should be going to a local school. But what for? Books that will sit unread in the library? And to that, I say, I understand what you're saying, that you feel like, why are people investing into, or why do anyone think it's so important for everyone to invest in strangers' kids' lives, and what where they go and all that stuff. You're like, why can't taxes just figure that out? Yeah, but for the question directly, children are blank slates. Okay, I'm not saying that they don't already have like a personality when they're born, because they do. Okay, and they get better at showing said personality as they get older. I'm saying, excuse me, whether they would strive to get something done or just be like, I'm a lazeabout, that is determined by their upbringing. Ambition is determined by their upbringing. In rare cases, it's a choice, but really, most of the time, you have to raise them to be ambitious so that when they become adults, they can go and strive to become something, someone. Whether it be a politician, whether it be a doctor or nurse, whether it be a soldier, whether it be a technician, a plumber, electrician, something. But if they don't even have the hunger to achieve something, then that is where the parenting failed most of the time. Yes, if you are that parent that's just like, you can do whatever you want, you never, no matter what, I'm gonna always like back you up and make sure. I'm not saying you shouldn't back them up on their necessities. I'm saying if you tell them you'll always have your video games and new games to play, even if you fail school, your basic schooling, if they fail that and you're like, I'll keep treating you, I'll give you new shoes, the new name brand shoes you want, I'll give you an expensive phone, I'll give you all the stuff you want, even when you fail. What are you proving to them? What are you telling them? You're telling them that no matter what, they don't have to strive to get nothing done, because it's always going to be, whatever they want, it's going to be there for them anyway. You literally, with your actions, what you're saying. So, that's why you just don't spoil them. But, in the same breath, you also, I feel like it's more of the parent's duty to invest in their child's future in education. I don't think that it should be on the whole community's tab. I do think, yeah, the community, you should pay, and that's what it comes from, taxes, okay? And I don't want nobody arguing in my comment section, because I know about what the laws and all of that. But still, even if a little bit came from the community, that's more than enough. Because you know what I didn't do? I didn't sit in the hospital for I don't know how many hours to give birth to the child. I didn't go and say, yes, I want this child. You know what I'm saying? That was what you said. That's what you wanted. You were licking on your husband or your boyfriend at the time, your baby daddy, and you said you wanted a kid. That's what you did, not me. So, no matter what I give, if it's $1 or whatever, that's more than enough, because it's not my responsibility. That's not my kid. That's not my full responsibility. So, like I said, yeah, we should help, but it don't mean we're supposed to pick up the whole forklift and do all the weight for you, parents. Stop being lazy. But, for, the other part of it, back to the parents investing, I do feel like a lot of parents expect a lot from nothing. They be like, my son is gonna be a football player, and I didn't even send him to training, but like out of nowhere, because magic, he's just gonna be that, because when you like breathe in the air, it just becomes it. It's not like I want my son to be a boxer, right? But like I don't go and send him to boxing training. I just think he could just go in the ring and just be like, yeah, I'm ready to box, even though I don't know how to jab and dodge like a boxer. If I do this, I don't know what I'm doing. Because, yeah, every type of professional job requires training. So you want them to be great. You want them to be to do something, to be not wasting their time, not to be idle. You invest in their professional training. You as a parent, I do believe that's your job. Your child did not ask to be here, and they don't really care to hear about your complaining when they don't become nothing, because you're like, I brought you in this society that you didn't choose, and you didn't choose me as a parent. Why didn't you just magically become something? Why didn't you just become it? Because you want me to be a doctor, right? Well, I don't know how to use a scalpel. I had to go to surgeon school. I had to go to doctor's school to get that done. I don't know much about medical stuff. I don't know how to suture wounds. I don't know. Because training is required. They have to learn from experienced professionals in that field. That's how you pass the baton on. You don't be like, oh, okay, so my child is going to be in the Olympics, right? And they're going to run track and field, but the baton one, or they pass the baton. And I'm not going to teach them how they're, or to send them to the training of how they're supposed to pass the baton, how they're supposed to jump over the straddles, all that stuff. I'm just going, and the barriers, I'm just going to go and sign them up for it, you know, and hopefully they get in. Hopefully they could just defeat all those who studied for the program and are so way more prepared to become that, like, hopefully. Just by a miracle. Because, you know, miracles, they're supposed to happen often. You know, rare things happen often. Yeah, that's what I thought. Anyways, so train your children, people, to be what you want them to become career-wise. Otherwise, we don't want to hear your complaints about how you think they're lazy and they're not becoming what you want them to become. Just don't want to hear it. I just feel like you didn't pay to complain. You gotta invest in that first. Someone said, what is stopping you from going after the man or woman of your dreams? I've already told you. Robots are the future. Robots are the future in romance. I'm over it. I'm not going to try no more. And, I said here, I've decided that a robot lover or a love bot is more trustworthy and makes less mistakes. So that's what will be my husband, and I'll get in vitro to have our baby. And I mean what I say. I feel like that's a more tangible future for me that I can actually envision and make happen for myself than me like, I wonder if a guy will like end up being my husband. Like, it's something I have to work with someone else with to get done. And we all know how team projects sucked and always burned down and was a horrible conjuring. It was always a horrible combination, and it didn't ever really work well in school. You all remember, everyone did not work in unison, or it was always some problem in group projects. So just imagine, you basically, when you get married, you're saying you want to be in a partnership, a group project for the rest of your life. Now, it's not that hard of a problem, but this was what I'm telling you. If we already had a hard time and didn't want to link up and connect when it was a group that we were assigned to by teachers, why, and professors, why do we want to do it by choice? And that's what I'll give guys that one. Why would we want to do that by choice with a lot of people, in this case, a lot of guys that don't want to? So it's like, do I feel like working with, just like how when you were in grade school or when you're in college, you always have that one partner that doesn't want to do any work and you gotta lift it. Like, do I feel like lifting the dead weight? No. So I'm just going to just invest in a love bot thing. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure it'll be around in the short or near future.